I'm Marv, and this is my Arctic Arrival base tour. I've got about half of the quest book done, so we're gonna have a nice little tour at this point to see what I've got done. Uh, I've taken over a little village here because I spawned right next to it. Actually, I went off and ran away out that way to protect the villagers when I first got in. It had food, had some nice stuff hiding in here. I think most of this stuff is still here. Yeah, I got some flippers. Um, Took great advantage of the of the blacksmith building. So I came here after I discovered the villagers had all gotten stuck into the same building, so I blocked them in there. I've since moved most of them. Uh, so I've gotten to the point where I've got this was all snow here, all of it. I turned it to grass when I decided to just get into the witchery phase of things. And I've got myself a nice little setup here. And underneath there is a builder's guide, which is set to approximately the range of its influence, which will be useful later. These are my tree farms. These used to be just individual pieces of dirt where I did the 9 trees and kept growing them as I needed them. And my bank of random stuff. And this is my mob farm. Originally it was just regular dirt up there. When I finally beat the Wither for that quest, I got some cursed earth with the silly thing, and now it's really working. And I found an interesting little trick is if you don't want to get bows like that one, or swords or other random tools, the tool rack will accept them. Likewise with all the armor that they drop, it goes into there. So these become weapon and armor filters. So these are set to a relatively high priority. Actually, moderate priority. Let's see, 2. And then I just turn right around and throw them into the trash can. So I don't have to deal with all of the 90 zillion different armors and bows, which clog up my systems usually. And I thought I'd get some skulls out of this thing. The only thing I've gotten are Enderman heads. Both types, funny enough, but creeper heads, skeleton skulls, and zombie heads are non-existent, which is odd because usually I do get a lot out of this style of mob grinder. If I want to turn it off, I just use my elevator to come up here and hit the switch, and that turns on all the lights. I've got all these fans inside to blow them in, and if I want to turn off the fans, I can hit that. There, all the fans are off, which allows me to actually go in there and do maintenance if I need to. Yeah, right. Where's my yellow wrench? Ding! That's how I do it, right there. So it looks pretty, made out of chisel marble. Come on down. And the vacuum hoppers collect items and the XP, and I can use it to enchant stuff. Of course, I get way more liquid XP than I need, so I end up throwing that into the trash too. Such a sad thing to do to XP, just gone. So anyway, I left the builders region open just to, because that's going to be interesting down in my other part of my base. There's my Twilight Forest portal right here. Yeah, I didn't even remove the grass here, or the snow to turn into grass, because I wanted to keep the light. Originally my meteor barrier, what's this thing called again? The meteor shield was over there. Ouch, that hurts. And I used to keep it right about here, I think. But every time I came around this corner, I thought it was a spider, so it had to move. For a little while, this was my mechanical room. I put some stuff in these two. Put this together. Took the made all the ice blocks into this concrete so it looked nice. Over here I have my enchanting room with another barrel of liquid XP. The advanced enchantment table, which is great. I love it. I've got soulbound on all of these and fire protection 4. I've got all the magical wood I need for all the levels. So that's about the cool stuff up here. I've been in that tower various different ways. Here's my smeltery. It does smeltery stuff. And all my little extra XP. But I actually want to keep the levels now for my last stand. This is my ME system. Yay! It's very basic right now. It's just, tied to my ender pouch so I can get rid of stuff while I'm out and about. I've got a nice reactor over there. It's filled with the it's got liquid redstone in there because I didn't have enough ender pearls to make it enderium. I think I have enough now because of that mob grinder actually working. So, as you can see, my distillery, witch's cauldron, and kettle are all just inside of the range. Yeah, I love that part right there. These fires, even though I put a roof over them, still burn the Spanish moss that grows down. I keep thinking about fixing it, but I just enjoy it too much. My witchery outfit. For the longest time, my main armor was this meteorite stuff. Not sure where my jetpack got to. Is it in here? Jet. Oh, no. There it is. There's my armored jetpack. I was using that for the longest time. And this is my Thaumic gear. I think I stuck a Freezerite helmet in there just to make it look cool. So, now that I've shown you where the why it's that way, I have to turn it off. Over here. See, my ultra's at 3708 or something like that. It was higher. I'm trying to figure out why it went down. I thought I could have sworn I had it up to 4,000 at one point. I may have had more crops over there. I don't know. Right. I haven't cut down these trees in a while. I think I've had plenty of wood for a while. Anyway, over here, going back down, because my elevator is the same color as this andesite, I decided to make them really stand out with the factory blocks. And over here I've got my standard setup for the infusion altar. Because it only needs 180 degree reflection, I have 14 pedestals set up for stuff, and if anything goes wrong, I usually put extra materials into these, so that way if something goes wrong and it gets knocked off or destroyed, another one comes up and it continues the infusion without any issues. I've had a couple where I forgot to do that, and it's like, I thought this ancient cobblestone would be stabilized enough, but it doesn't. Over here I've got a lovely setup for making the balance shards. The sugar cane gives me water, air, and the herba, which I just put in a void jar. The silicone makes fire, order, and the census, which again into a void jar, And then we've got Tara and Pretticho coming from, I think this is just regular cobblestone over here. Yeah, regular cobblestone. So that makes for a pretty nice little setup. And this one's, the range is actually out to this the stone bricks. So this one actually is just inside. I've actually seen it do it too, so I'm comfortable there. This one is actually outside the range of the altar, and most recently I was using it to double the Certus quartz. The water comes from, actually water from Pam's Harvest Craft, which is, you've probably seen it, this guy right here. And I've got a nice little setup for making that in glass. I need to, okay. We've got a little setup for making all my chips over here. It's a fairly complicated thing. This one is is a regular cobble gen. Filling up this, so if I need any cobble, I have it. I have it pulverizing it to make sand, and with the side effect of gravel. The sand gets you stored over here, but it's actually for over here to mix with the cobblestone to make the slag. The stone bricks is a side effect. Yeah, secondary output I don't care about. I actually need the slag so I can make clay. The only thing that this thing's missing other than the water and the slag is the dirt. If I put some dirt in here, it'll turn into clay. Over here, I have a cyclic assembler making these water buckets of fresh water, which are just one water each with no other aspects. And more lily pads. And I made that so I could grow lily pads. It could do other farming for me, but I don't do that. Anyway, over here, I've got my little room for growing stuff, for upgrading my AgriCraft plants. I've got my clippers for duplicating the high strength plants. I've got the trowel to move them around if I need to. The iron hand rake, which lasts forever to clean up the weeds or just to clear out the sticks without having to break them. Watering can to make it go fast, plus the sprinkler, which makes it go fast too. And the supply sticks. A chest where I can drop stuff until I'm done. And of course your seed analyzer. And a light switch, so if I need a dark room for it, I can have that. Which I needed to get my nether wart over here maxed out. And over here is the farm I've been running for quite a while. And on top of the roof is where I've got an aquatic accumulator to feed all the water everywhere. In here I've got the only bit of strawberry I've ever grown, but it just keeps growing. I don't use it a lot. I've actually stopped running all of these things because it's been a pain. I only have 4 emerald plants, but I'm doing good there. Usually I do 9, but I haven't found enough emerald ore that I didn't stupidly destroy into regular emeralds. Over here, diamond, gold, that's iron, and this is lapis, with a little bit of, sugarcane. That also has made a whole lot, despite it being the only one. I did have for a little while some water in here. I think I had... Yeah, this is where my glowstone was growing, which I don't need. I placed this here to see if it actually would get much strength from being next to AgriCraft plants, and I don't think it does. I've got my reactor set up to only run at certain times. Right now it's running down. And when it goes below 10, the redstone signal comes out. This is set to toggle on pulse, so right now it's off, so when it goes down below 10, it'll turn it on, and it won't reset, turn it back off until it gets another new pulse, which won't happen until it goes above 95, and it coasts to like 99 from there. But it doesn't actually get to 100% energy before it cools off enough, and then it just keeps working its way down again. So that's how I save my fuel from being burnt too fast. I think I've gone through about 3 ingots so far, yeah, because it takes 1 to make that, and I've got 2 more in there. So that's a fair amount of my base. And I've got a nice little, I've got sag mill, Stirling generator. I used to run on coal for a while, and then I just needed energy because the system kept dropping out. It was a pain in the butt, but I got there. I placed freeze right down here because I actually get too hot with all these machines. 1 more floor. This one I only recently cleared out. And there's my water line. I've recently added all of these heads, skulls, and zombie heads to work on getting the altar more stable. We'll see how that works later. So that's my little base. I've got another mob grinder in the nether, but it's not terribly exciting. It's there so I can get some wither heads. The only other thing of interest is the fact that I've got my inventory sorted by inventory tweaks. And I've got a customized tree where I've got most of the ingots set up here. I've got ME system stuff clustered together. Still working on some stuff to get them all worked out. I've got all my food together. Let's see how many strawberries I've got. Yeah, I've got plenty of strawberries. And the recipe for strawberry salad is in a fruit salad. Fruit salad is made by any fruits, which if you wait here long enough, you're going to see strawberries show up. So it's a really good food. It's really easy to make a whole lot of. So that makes me happy. Have I scanned this thing yet? I wonder if I have. Oh, yes I have. Alright. The only other thing of note is I added the Thaumcraft node tracker because it's just a pain in the butt to keep track of them. Unfortunately, I don't have the ones that are really close to me marked because I didn't install it right away. So that's my little tour of my base. Leave me comments and let me know what you think.